position, depends really what you want to do. One of the best things, most useful things I've learned is basically this. If you're on top and you're grappling and you're knackered, just basically play defensive, and if you get into a good defensive position, there's nothing he can do to you. He can't choke you out, he can't do anything. The idea is you pop your elbows, the outside of the hips, there, hands on his belly, and chin tucked in like this. So he can't choke you out, he can't throw his hips up to get a triangle or an armbar, and he can't do anything with your shoulders, the shoulder crank. So this is a really, really good defensive position. Your elbows have to be on the outside, hands here, and basically just resting. So obviously you can't do anything about it, so you just have to either wait for him to open his legs to try and sweep you off, and that's when you sit up and try and pass his guard. Passing guard, different ways you can do it. You can either, as I said, play defensive, wait for him to open. As soon as you feel a bit of a gap behind you, just lower him back, pop up, hand on his hip or his chest, just so he doesn't throw his hips up to armbar you. Keep him down. As soon as you feel a gap, just basically climb over. So you pin him with that side. Straight away, you never want to leave too much gap here. I'm doing that because I'm talking to you, but you ideally want to always want to have weight on your shoulders to keep him pinned. As you pin his leg, then wait, set your arms up straight away, climb over with the middle leg first, over, then you round into side control. So again, you're just basically waiting here a little bit. When you feel a gap, you think he's going to do something, you go straight over, side control. You can save legs on different positions in side control basically. And that's just basically playing defensive, wait for his legs to open, and then you pass. When you're in side control, different ways you can set your hands up. A good way is the hand close to the head goes round the back, the other arm goes under his arm. The reason why you've got this arm here under his head is that if he tries and turns towards you, which is one of his escapes, you just basically drop your shoulder and push him. You've got this arm to control him. If your arm's here, it's a bit easier for him to turn towards you, so you're just basically using this one just to keep him in check. And again, shoulders always down, you're keeping his shoulders pinned. From here, basically what you want to try and do is always keep something very close to his hip there. Because one of his escapes from the bottom is to turn towards you and slide his leg underneath. So if you've got a big gap here, obviously he's going to utilise that. So you can either bring your left knee up, keep it really close there to make it harder for him to pull guard, or you can just drop your hip down to the floor. You're just basically not leaving any gaps down here. If I want to basically mount, things not to do from this position, climb over a fence like this. Some people do it because if he uses the momentum, you'll go over. If he catches you up here, maybe with his leg, he can trap your leg. So basically the idea is, once you're here, he can sweep you back over. The idea is to try and slide up onto your knees, so you're not leaving any gaps here. Climb onto his belly with your knee. Again, stay nice and close to the floor. Once you get your knee on his belly, your knee touches the floor, and then your foot touches the floor, and you've mounted. And again, you're keeping weight, and you're not keeping any gaps here, basically. So you start from this position, in side control, come up onto your knees, knee onto his stomach, knee onto the floor, foot onto the floor, now you're here. Depends what you want to do, you probably come up. If you're in mount, you've got mainly two positions to be in. Low mount, down here next to his belt, good for striking. High mount, under his armpits, good for arm bars and different submissions really. Apart from that, we've just gone from guard, side control, mount. What you don't want to do if you're up here is really, if you're trying to rest, is tuck your hands in around the back like if you would in side control. If I'm doing this, I'm trapping my own arms and he can just turn me over. What I want to do is, if I'm up here, if he's trying to get my arms, swing. So every time he grabs and he tries to go for an arm, bring your arms through, and if anything, if you want to rest, you get high mount, and you're just basically there at the top of him, okay? Making it really annoying for him to even breathe or anything like that. Ideally for him, he wants me this distance away. So if you tuck your elbows in, that's where he wants my legs, okay? If they're any further up, it's a bit too annoying for him, he can't really do much, and yeah, it's not ideal for him. Bridge and turn. Again up here, good for me to punch down, bad for him, so he wants to bring me down. If, just a second, if you find people that bring you down and hug you around the stomach, okay, good thing to do, sit up and slide, if he's basically pinned there, slide your hand in his cheekbone, which gets really, really annoying. Use your wrist, just basically push down, okay, and then you sit back up again. Bridge and turn, he'll want me to come down, so you can either knee me in the back, bring me down. Once I'm down, I need to wrap an arm up straight away. If you manage to wrap an arm up, you can decide, obviously you'll be going this way, control the hand, control the foot. He's got a spare left hand, which he's going to push me with, and he's going to try and get me over the shoulder. Okay, so he pushes up, turns, I immediately pull guard, okay, back to square one. If I'm in guard position, and again, if you can strike, I don't want him to post up and start punching down, so I'm going to use my legs obviously to bring him down, either control the head and wrap one of the arms up. It's like when you stood up and you're doing your neck and arm control. You've got the neck, you've got an arm, you've got the head, and the same side up, which I'm blocking, okay? So from here, I should be nice and covered up. Things to do from my position, I can turn him over many different ways. What I want to do is keep him where I want him to be, basically. If at any point I open my legs to try a sweep, I need to hold his head and make sure he's here. Because if I'm not controlling him and I just open my legs, he's going to then pass or stand back up, back to square one. So if I'm in this position, if I do want to sweep, I need to control him, his top half. So even if I do open my legs a bit, he's still not going anywhere. Different ways to turn him over. Scissor sweep, again I decide which way I'm going. If I want to turn to my left, I'll have to obviously control him a little bit, and what I do is just put my right foot on the floor and turn my hips and slide my knee in front of his belly. So now I'm still holding him, you have to do obviously this quick. So I'm using my legs as a scissor action, right foot pushes, left one chops in, and it's the same with my hands. So when I'm ready, I just push with my right, chop in with my left, again controlling this hand. If I just push him and let go, this hand is going to put it up. So again, control the hand, and just push, follow it up, and I'm back in mount position. So when you do that, you have to keep, hold of his neck, because that movement, basically when you get to about this stage, you start pulling, and that pulls you up on top of him into mount position. Back to square one to either strike or just maintain position. Good thing to do is teach people that when you're in a position, try and stay there. Because if you're doing like MMA rounds and you get someone to the floor, you're in guard, side control, then mount, you want to be able to stay there. You don't want to do all that and then you're in mount and suddenly they turn you over. So if you want to stay in mount, again, high mount, push down, depends what you want to do. You can strike or you can come up and start working on different submissions and things. Okay?